One thing about this, you know, the bad boys of radio, I think that has to be explained. Hey. Radio and talk show hosts do a lot of positive things in the community that never gets on these programs, and I just want to mention just a couple. I'm the national vice president of a foundation that started on WWDB 10 years ago. You're familiar with it, the Sunshine Foundation.
Right. I do work for them.
We provide the dreams or wishes of chronic or terminally ill children. And we have provided 10,000 children with that dream or wish. My listeners have contributed over $2 million to that foundation to provide that wish. Had a fellow on death row in Philadelphia for 14 months and screamed on the air for 14 months that this guy deserves another trial, when after the district attorney in Philadelphia pleaded along with another reporter and a police lieutenant, that man today is a free man working and paying taxes. So there's a positive side to talk radio with all of this bashing if the talk show host is really concerned about the community.
There's a positive side as well, because sometimes on talk radio I find I like to listen to people who have different points of view than I do, and even when you say things that are totally outrageous to me on the air, it starts me thinking. You always get me thinking when I listen to you.
Well, the other thing is that everybody, if you get psychologists and psychiatrists on the air, the first thing is we don't communicate with each other. Talk radio is the means of communicating with people who will not communicate with their husband or their wife.
We have a telephone call right now. Good morning, you're on the air.
Oh, God.
Hi, my name is Terry Vitowski. I'm calling from Central Islip, Long Island.
Yeah?
And I wanted to know how you people feel about Howard Stern. Do you think his style is good, or...
I don't know who that is.
Do anybody want to comment on him? Howard Stern?
Well, he's a phenomenal success.
The market, as I said,
He's a wonderful talent. What else is there to feel about?
Is there...
I replaced the guy on NBC.
What?
I replaced him. It was probably the worst job in history. It would be like my coming on this television station and replacing Morton Downey. You cannot replace a guy like that. He's a total original person. He has a great amount of talent and ability. He's offbeat, he's funny, he's outrageous. Sometimes he goes over the line. But it works, and he's a very big success here. People must like him. He's got big ratings, and he's got a lot of sponsors. What's to say about him? Steve?
But you can't take these people seriously. It's hard for me to imagine, if you listen to Howard Stern, if you listen to a Morton Downey Jr., for example, it's hard for me to believe that people are actually taking these people seriously.
When Morton Downey Jr., when people come to see him, they go through a metal...
I got my Red Sox on.
Oh. All right. But you know what? It is a character. But let me bring this up, because I want to get into this, because we were talking about the movie and the Berg assassination. When people come to see Morton Downey Jr., they go through a metal detector to come and sit in the audience.
That's a shame.
I mean,
That's because people have plates in their head to go to see him.
No, wait.
Okay.
My friend.
Barry, I know there have been instances when you have been threatened because of things you've said over the air. What has happened to you?
Yeah, I identified with that movie a great deal. During the war, a chaplain was accompanying a bombing mission, and the plane was getting shot up pretty bad, and he crawled up on his belly to the cockpit and said to the pilot, "I think it's bad. The boys in the back are cussing." Pilot said, "Padre, when they're cussing, it's okay. Come back and tell me when they quit cussing and start praying." No threat to me has ever been credible, because think about it. If they threaten you, they're putting you on guard, and you're going to be harder to get to. The only threats that scare me are when the FBI calls me and says one of our informers tells us that they are planning to get you. And that sort of turns your bone marrow into ice cubes.
Irv, I know you carry a gun, too, don't you?
Right.
Is it for your self-protection because of your job?
It's not because of my weight. It's because of protection. I have been licensed to carry for 10 years.
Okay, does it bother you that people take these statements so seriously? Should they take you seriously?
The funny part is that the outrageous statement is not the thing that generates the threat. It is an innocuous statement that you think has absolutely no controversy whatsoever that generates the...
Like what? What has caused people to get so upset?
If you're trying to make an analogy in a particular instance, and I just had it occur a couple of weeks ago, and it is misinterpreted or it is heard out of context, that is the threat. But if you go head-to-head with most people, you can either debate them or issue and hang up on them. It is that statement that they don't really hear.
Everybody knows this job has dangers. We are not the merry milkman. We are not judging tap dancing contests. I say you got to live your life as a talk show host so that There's not going to be much time for you to think between the bullet leaving the gun and hitting you, but there's just time enough to ask yourself one question. Did I make my living angering people with the good, or did I make my living angering the people with the bad? I spend all of my time fighting dictatorship, communist and fascist, fighting bigotry of all kind. So I think I'm going to have, if it ever comes, peace of mind in that split second between the bullet leaving the gun and piercing me.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back.